So there has been a bit of TF2 drama recently that I wanted to cover in kind of like a non-biased, almost Ludwig Mogul Mail style, because I've been watching a lot of that recently. And honestly, it's just a really good way to present something that's happening like this, share my thoughts on it, share my opinions, and basically keep you lot up to date about what is actually going on. So I'm going to try my best to explain what's happened to the best of my ability and try not to take sides, just trying to basically let you know what's going on with all of this drama that is surrounding hashtag SaveTF2 and this massive Twitter argument that's been going on for a couple of days. So, SaveTF2 was a thing that happened. It was basically trying to spread positivity around the TF2 community, sharing our favourite memories about the game, why we loved it, and basically to make a really wholesome day for the community to come together and enjoy TF2, enjoy talking about TF2, maybe even make some new friends in TF2. And if we got a response from Valve or they even noticed what we were doing, that was a massive win. It wasn't what we were aiming to do. The event didn't fail if we didn't get a response from Valve, but we wanted people to just be able to enjoy talking about TF2 and thinking about all of the nice times they've had while playing this game. And we actually did manage to get Valve's attention, and we got quite a lot of attention with the Save TF2 thing. Know Your Meme wrote a page about it, kind of talking a little bit about the bot crisis and what Save TF2 is and how it started. There's been multiple different articles written about the bot problem. A load of other YouTubers kind of got involved in it as well, talking about what happened with it and things like that. And also, there was a few news articles about this tweet from Valve themselves on the Team Fortress 2 account, where it says, TF2 community, we hear you, we love this game and know you do too. We see how large this issue has become and are working to improve things. Now, this, for a lot of us, was an absolutely massive win, but there were also a few people that were quite skeptical because, again, this is coming from Valve, who, if they know about this issue, they haven't fixed it yet. So, you know, it was a bit 50-50 between what people thought about this tweet. I thought it was quite nice. I liked the fact that they saw what we were doing and then decided to speak up about it. Apparently, some people went to the offices, which I don't think is okay. But yeah, this tweet came out. People were happy. People were celebrated. All of that stuff. Now, it is now November, nearly December. And this tweet came out in May. And a lot of people still think the bot problem is a massive issue. I definitely think it's gotten better, but that is purely because of where I play TF2, and some regions have it worse than others, right? So I would personally say things have gotten better since this tweet, but it has been a while, and El Maxo has tweeted out saying, one weekend in December we should organise everyone to play TF2 in an attempt to set a new all-time concurrent player peak to help remind Valve of Save TF2 and basically end out the year in a really cool way. And then he goes on to put, if that doesn't get their attention, then we boycott the next case and hit them where it hurts. So once again, we'll try the peaceful way first, and then we'll do like the more aggressive, hey, you really need to fix this game, else we're not going to give you any money anymore. So I thought this was a cool idea. Obviously, just making a nice positive thing about TF2 at the end of the year again, reminding everybody of, you know, the amazing weekend that was Save TF2. But because obviously it's mentioned Save TF2 and not everything has been fixed since that whole thing, it kind of dragged up this video from Zesty Jesus from a while ago. And in it, he talks about just how much he loves the game, how disappointed he is in Valve, and all of that stuff, which, you know, I perfectly understand why he thinks like that, because it isn't right of Valve to leave the game in the state it's in. However, the issue that a lot of people had with this video is that partway through, he starts kind of accusing the people involved in Save TF2 as only being in it for the clout, the views, the Twitter likes, all of that kind of stuff, and not because they actually care about the game, which is going to start a big war, because obviously all of the people involved in Save TF2 absolutely love this game. This is the whole reason the event existed, which led Wheezy to write a tweet basically saying, it's crazy how the only people to publicly speak about the behind the scenes of TF2, Save TF2, went with the conspiracy narrative that it was done with the intention of being a collective clout farm, nothing more. Going on to say how Short rallied everybody together really quickly. He got so many people in the Discord. It was ridiculous. 60 plus SFM posters were made completely for free, and everyone spent their time making videos about it to promote this message. And, you know, I don't think it was a clout farm. I think I definitely didn't get involved in it for clout. I just wanted to talk about my favorite game. and to talk about all of the times I've like enjoyed playing it, all of the things I've done in my like 10 years spent playing this game, and you know, just have a nice weekend with everybody else talking about their favorite memories. Zenith has also tweeted saying, are people pretending that SaveTF2 didn't actually work? Since that day, I haven't felt the need to use the bot detector once. The point of it wasn't to get the heavy update, it was to get rid of the bots. They're literally a non-issue now. He also goes to say, to those saying that they'll see bots, yeah, of course, cheats aren't just going to go away. There isn't a fix to it. It requires constant maintenance, and that has been pretty consistent since SaveTF2. Most of this I agree with. I don't think the bots are literally a non-issue. Depends on where you're playing. Yes, they absolutely are. But obviously, as you'll see later, Australia and Asia servers still are absolutely struggling with bots, and some parts of NA as well. So the literally a non-issue bit is the only thing I would say, okay, maybe not so much, but the rest of the tweet I absolutely agree with. I think SaveTF2 did kind of what I expected it to do, if that makes sense. He then goes on to say, the best the VAC team could do is make cat hook bannable, things like that. Never be a solution to the bot problem. But Zesty sees Zenith's tweet and replies with this: I don't see bots, therefore problem solved. Tell this to Australian and Asia servers, which are still crippled thanks to bot activity. Absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. And bots are still very much present in other regions, along with an uptick in human cheaters, which is true. That is becoming a bit of a problem. Actual humans cheating, because they know they can get away with it. There are zero excuses for a multi-billion-dollar company to continue to leave TF2 in the state it's in. They have the resources and manpower to allocate. They simply refuse to. All of this so far, I have to... It feels very strange to say. I'm agreeing with Zesty Jesus here. Like, this bit, I understand where he's coming from here. And this, especially this bit, the zero excuses for a multi-billion-dollar company. Exactly. It's how I've said a lot of the time. It's how a lot of people have said it quite a lot of the time. Even people who don't necessarily like Zesty Jesus have, you know, echoed this point in like different timescales and stuff. So, like, it is embarrassing for Valve. But then the problem comes from this tweet. I think this is the tweet that got the most attention. As you can see, the more quote retweets, the more likes and stuff. This one is the one that got seen the most. Where he says, I get it, the community want to feel as though they've had some tangible impact on the state of the game, but they fail to realize that this is Valve they're dealing with. Expecting them to change, let alone listen to their consumers, is a fool's errand. Which got people a little bit angry. I feel like this was definitely the tweet that's caused the backlash. Maybe if he left it at this, people would have just kind of, you know, left it alone. But Zenith replied with quite a few tweets about some other Zesty Jesus tweets as well. But this main one saying this is just a wrong statement and you know it. You refuse to believe that they did make an impact because you're really too afraid to eat the belt. Apparently promised to eat a belt. I don't remember that bit. But yeah, I think the point of this was, and the reason so many people felt quite angry about Zesty's tweet is that he made it sound like, again, it was just all for clout and people just wanted to say, oh, I helped do this thing, and not because they actually cared. And you can see Zenith even linked to this part of Zesty's video.
Making videos about it. I love talking about the game. I've met lifelong friends through TF2, man. And seeing the way it's been treated and how it continues to be treated is just fucking heartbreaking. Especially when it comes from a company that is just not doing their fucking job. It really pisses me off.
And that is something that could be, you know, related to by pretty much the entire TF2 community. We all love this game a lot, and we all don't like to see the state it's in. It doesn't mean we're trying to save it for clout. It means we're trying to save it because, you know, we love it. Obviously, this tweet then leads to a bunch of different controversy, as you can see here. I mean, I've left my channel up here. You should subscribe. Yeah, but a lot of people basically just dunking on Zesty, as what normally happens whenever he tweets. I don't blame him for taking breaks at all on Twitter, by the way. As you can see in this tweet here, he's saying people wonder why I need to take breaks from social media. Like, Twitter's a hellhole anyway. I can't imagine how Twitter is like if you've got replies like Zesty Jesus, okay? I never want to see my Twitter look like that ever, because I don't think I could take it, personally. Yeah, I definitely think there's been a lot of issues from both sides here. There have been people on both sides that make some valid points. Like I've said, Zesty's made some valid points, and I think a lot of the other people are going against Zesty right now also have valid points. Obviously, being called a clout chaser when you actually do genuinely care about the game does hurt a little bit. Like, you're not putting that much effort in just because you want YouTube views or Twitter likes. You actually do really care. I know that most of the people I knew in that group definitely didn't get involved solely for clout or views or anything like that. In my opinion, kind of just watching the situation from the outside, everyone is unhappy with how the game is being treated at the moment, right? Every single person who plays TF2, pretty much, who has been playing for a while, isn't happy with how Valve is treating the game. But everyone, and this is the part that is becoming a little bit of a problem, everyone is dealing with it differently. Some people want to keep trying to push for change through things like SaveTF2, and maybe even trying to set the player record. But there's going to be people who deal with this stuff by being bitter and angry about the state of the game, and that is okay too. The game you love immensely, more than any other game, is being mistreated, and that does really hurt. But these coping methods of trying to be positive about the game and also being bitter about the game, they don't go well together at all. Like, they're so bad when put together, which is where a lot of this starts, and is where a lot of Twitter arguments actually start. Zesty has a different opinion on what Valve should be doing. El Maxo wants to set the player record to hope Valve notices, and then boycott the game after, like trying all the positive stuff and then hitting them where it hurts, right? So these kind of ideas don't really go together that well, I don't think, which is why all of these Twitter arguments are starting. It's why people have different opinions on what SaveTF2 was all about and what other YouTubers and community figures have done for the game and stuff. I personally don't think Zesty should make drunk rant videos anymore and actually upload them. I think that's never a good idea, no matter who you are. I wouldn't trust myself to speak drunk into a microphone and actually upload it. I don't think at all that that is a good idea. And especially for someone like Zesty, who in the community right now, unfortunately, always has a target on his back. Yeah, I definitely think there's healthier ways of dealing with the anger that Valve makes everybody feel, right? And that's kind of the problem. Venting it on Twitter is just going to get it seen by people who think differently to you. It's going to start a massive argument, and then nobody is happy. Everybody starts unhappy, everybody finishes unhappy. It's not very helpful. And to be honest, I will never blame Zesty for taking breaks from social media either. Twitter, like I said, is terrible. But on the flip side of that, something about this tweet that Jaybird put out is there is a mute button and a block button. Right? If you don't want to see a Zesty Jesus tweet, you can block him. If you don't want to see a tweet from me, you can block me. I get it. I wouldn't blame you for blocking me. It's fine. I'm just saying there are buttons and stuff that you can use, and there are ways that you can make a better choice and avoiding the content you don't want to see. I did it a few times with YouTubers back in 2020 I didn't want to watch the videos of, or people whose tweets I didn't like. Like, I think Piers Morgan is on my blocked list. Katie Hopkins, when she was on Twitter, she was on my blocked list. Like, if I don't want to see these kind of tweets, I just block them. I don't have the time to be that negative about it anymore, you know? And I think that is kind of what I would like to see people start doing, instead of just constantly starting arguments that aren't going to solve anything. Just make some healthier choices and ignore the people that you don't like. That is literally the best way of dealing with them. I know it's difficult, but I would personally say if everyone could just start ignoring the things that annoy them, the TF2 community will probably be a lot happier. Okay, I do want to say this is my first time ever trying to do a video like this one. So if it has gone terribly, terribly wrong, please tell me. If it's gone good, then let me know and I'll really try and do it again. This took so many attempts. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.